My father-in-law and my wife's family, they call trail mix Chorp. It's got a chocolate, which is the CHO, raisins, and peanuts. And so commonly on a road trip or like on a hike, or if we're just hanging out at the lake and there's trail mix involved, one of the kids will go in there and like just try and grab the chocolate, right? Well, that's a big no-no. And so my father-in-law will often use the phrase, which I love, no juicing the Chorp. And to me, this is one of my favorite things is no juicing the Chorp. So whenever we get, now we love the monster mix, trail mix from Target or something like that. It's like a jar of trail mix, very simple. It doesn't have like the crazy cranberries and the, whatever, all the other nonsense. It's really just chocolate, raisin, peanuts. It is delightful, but no juice in the Chorp. You get your hand in there, you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
I am totally naming this episode.
No juicing the Chorp. That should be the name of the episode for sure.
That's me. I'm going to use that for sure.
Mr. Puntastic.
Hey, Paul. Glad to be here on the pod.
Likewise. How are you, Micah?
I'm doing well. You know what's funny is we are around each other, and like Sunday we were around each other, but I had to run, so I didn't even like talk to you really. So it's sometimes we may go the whole week without actually chatting, and then we get on here and we're like, oh,
this is one. I was just thinking about this today. Actually, this is one of the reasons I like this podcast is that we get to chat in a way where we may not otherwise. So unless we're sending, so this is a perfect segue into something I wanted to talk about. One of the ways that, like, okay, my wife Jen is a great keeper in toucher. That's the thing. Everyone who is meaningful in her life, she texts with, calls on a regular basis. She calls her mom every day, has a few people that she talks to every single day. And I am horrible. I don't like some of my best friends in the world. I don't talk to for a year. And then when I do talk to them, we just pick up where we left off. But one of the things that has become like a go-to for me, and you're one of the people that are in this crew, is sending shorts, reels, whatever it's called, through Instagram. I think we've talked about this before, but this is what we call the congruentability factor, right? Like it's not what you present to the world, it's not who you aspire to be, but it's like the algorithm is tailored to like what you're landing on and watching, right? The longer you watch something, the more Instagram or Meta or whoever it is feeds it to you. The overlords are feeding the same thing to. Then like it's a wonderful thing, right? And so I have a few people on my level for you, and one of them who, will send different shorts or memes or whatever back and forth to on a fairly regular basis. And something unique happened the other day where you sent me a video that I had sent you like a day or two before. And to me, it's like hitting for the cycle in baseball. It's this rarity that is worth celebrating. It's in such harmony out that, I don't know, it's worth shouting out that like we're singing and laughing.
I think there's two things at play there, and you could kind of go either way with this. You could say, oh, that's really cool. We're convertible. We like the same stuff. And then there's the flip side of the coin where it's like, I obviously didn't see yours for like 2 days.
Yeah.
So I hadn't caught up, and I skipped the catching up and went straight to the sending, which is sort of like the cardinal sin of doing that. So yeah, apologies to you, but also it's kind of fun that it was the same one we sent back and forth.
Yeah, so like, I don't know, you can make a case that sending like shorts, reels, whatever they are, to a friend without catching up first is sort of like raw dogging shorts. Is that fair to say? Or reels, raw dogging reels? Didn't you mention that in a recent pod? have heard the phrase raw dogging used for like multiple things. And I'm like,
All kinds of things.
a friend tries to send you a reel you've already seen, it pops up with, they've already laughed at this, try harder. And I thought that's the darker, angrier version of this. I think it should be celebrated. I think it just means we're super in sync. No.
Yeah. You know what's funny is like I don't remember who I sent what
Yeah.
sometimes. So if I find a real good one, sometimes I'll send it to like 3 people, which would be like you, my wife, and my oldest son Josiah. And so if it's a cross section of all you guys, I'll send it to all of you. And sometimes I just send it to one of you or 2 of you. And so sometimes I don't remember, did I send this? So then I have to ask because I'm not there most of the time when they're watching them, which is part of the joy though. When you see someone see the reel that
Yeah.
you've sent them and then they react in the way that you would hope, that's really fun. And so I'm sort of imagining it when I send it to you. I sent something to you and our wives yesterday, which I thought was funny. It was, I said, I have bad news. We have a serious leak under our sink. And then it's just a picture of a very serious looking like leak, like
I don't
vegetable.
know if we can get this
under
on that. We have a serious leak under the sink, which honestly, I mean, it's look, it's not a lazy joke by any stretch of the imagination because you actually like they drew a face on a leak and then they went to the work of like putting it under their sink, which meant that you had to remove all the stuff that's under everybody's sink, the basket of cleaning products or whatever, so you get a clear picture. Like they did some work to do this, but it's not a difficult joke. Like no one's sitting right there, and
Right.
But I bought it nonetheless.
So when I sent it, Erica was like on the couch next to me, and then I was just waiting for her reaction because at first I didn't send the full joke. I just sent the setup. And then your wife says, uh-oh, like, oh no, you guys have a leak, which I misspelled it on purpose so that it was like the vegetable. But then Erica saw it and she was like rolling her eyes, but also laughing at me at the same time, which is the best reaction.
Yeah.
I really,
It's like,
really enjoy that.
I hate you, but this is also really undeniably funny. I think it's great.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. So I'm going to set up some scenarios and I want to just get your honest, like creative, like response to it. So I'm calling this, what would Paul do?
Dangerous.
Okay. So I'm going to present an absurd hypothetical and ask you how you'd navigate it. So there's a few scenarios here. So the first one is you're stranded on a desert island with only a kazoo and a taco. How do you navigate the next few days?
With only a kazoo and a taco?
A kazoo and a taco.
Well, I suppose my initial thought is that the kazoo is for entertainment, the taco is for eating. But you got to figure, you don't know how long you're going to be on this island. So are you rationing the taco? Could the kazoo be sort of multi-use where you can use the kazoo to play songs, which I suppose would be fun. I don't know. Or would you use the kazoo sort of like as a, like the duck calls where people are like, oh, it's terrible duck. It's not going to, you get to
Either way, now that you mention that, I was on a Zoom call with someone recently, and while I was signing on, they were trying out a new duck call, like the actual product, as I was signing on. It was really funny. I was like, what are we doing? Duck
That's
calls
a strange
here?
thing to walk into.
Huge duck hunter. Yeah. Anyway, keep going.
I don't know. Like, I'm not a savor my food guy, so I'm not like taking bites of the taco and then wrapping it in a leash to come back to it later.
Yeah.
I'll probably save it as long as I can, to try and hold out. And then once I start eating the taco, I'm just eating the taco.
Yeah.
And the kazoo, I would lose interest in the kazoo pretty quickly. So,
Okay.
yeah, but I'd probably play some songs.
So this is, Okay, so you'll play some songs, get some entertainment. Let's go to the next one. All right, so you're at a gas station at 3 a.m. You maybe have flashbacks to high school or something. You're at a gas station very early or late, in the night, and the last taquito is calling your name.
Oh, you're talking about the
Okay.
taquitos that are on those
But
like, rolling,
someone else,
on those rolling freeze things.
yeah, the one that somebody dropped and then put back in. Yeah. So someone else is eyeing it too. What's your game plan? How are you gonna get it? How are you gonna beat them
Oh,
to
I
it?
feel like this is a setup for the Danny Glover segment, which is things that I'm too old for. I am too old to eat taquitos from a gas station. I got no desire. I've had a lot of gas station food in my day,
Yeah.
but it's all theirs. It's all yours. And
Yeah. Okay. Let's rewind now. Let's go back to your gas food day. So when you were in high school, your parents had a gas station card.
Yeah.
So, if you could rewind and you could go to a time in your life where maybe you would consider eating that taquito, how would you get to it first? Are you jumping? Are you body blocking? Like, are you shoulder checking? Are you just like, oh, you really want that? Somebody drop.
I don't think I've ever wanted a gas station taquito so badly that I would physically accost someone else who was going for it. I would probably just let them have it either way. But you're correct. When we were at high school, I got my license, and then my parents gave us a gas card. And I still don't know why they did it. I think they just assumed we would only use it for gas, or maybe only could use it for gas. And my sister, who was a rule follower, absolutely only ever used it for gas. And my brother probably used it mostly for gas and occasionally got himself a beverage. But this was my go-to. Like, we would leave school at lunch and go get pizza and lay out, and it would like flag it and it would freeze the card. And so then my dad would have to call and explain or approve the purchases. And then he would be like, what are all these miscellaneous food items? And because I had been buying food from friends 6 months. So that didn't go well, but it was just piling under not bad parenting, but like being a naive parent. I feel like parents now, we've got to be on our guard.
That's fun.
My parents were not on their guard.
Got to. I think part of that is you just know what you would have done at that age. So you're more aware.
Yeah, for sure. It's funny. My dad, he was one of the first in his family to go to college, and his dad he'd been groundskeeper at UC Davis. And my dad then went to UC Davis and joined the Army and, all of this stuff. And so it was like, bootstraps guy, pull yourself up by your bootstraps. And so I think in his mind, he was like, I would never abuse like my parents' money. I had no problems. So you get freebies and you take advantage, right? Like, so that's what I did. And now I know what it's like to abuse your parents' generosity. I would never let my kids do that.
Yeah, for sure. Well, this one's a rough one for you because you do not like clowns.
No, I don't.
So you're asked to give a motivational speech to a room full of clowns, but they've all lost their sense of humor. How do you make them laugh again?
Yeah, I feel like I'm not doing great on these answers because I'm not giving the answers that you want to hear, but I don't know if I would have the guts to actually speak to a room full of clowns. They'll freak me out. So I guess I would ask, are they in full makeup? Are they decked out? And I think part of what makes a clown scary is the painted smile. Like when they're like, looking excited and happy, but underneath there's like this sinister, angry person. So if they're just like on the surface sad, I feel like that would be really, really dark and twisted. And if I did have the nerve to talk to him, I would probably just be like, good, you're sad. You should be. You've made poor life choices and you need to get out of this field. You need to find something else to do, a way to contribute to society in a productive manner.
Have you seen, there's a picture that I saw recently, and I've seen it in the past before, but it's of like one of the Disney characters, like in full, the suit, right? But the head is tilted up and it's like in front of, it's like in a cast area or something. And there's a dude in there just smoking a cigarette with Minnie's head halfway on. And it just makes you think, it makes me think, like, who are all the people that, these kids are all lining up to take pictures with? Like, is this a trustworthy person? Like, what's going on here?
My brother sent me this. I'm going to send it to you. I'm going to see if, I don't know if it'll show up. Certainly it won't show up for our listeners, but it's worth seeing. So the caption is, paused Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles at this exact spot, and now I'm traumatized. And so, like, on the surface, picture of April O'Neil and looks like Donatello, right? But like if you zoom in, it's like you can see the dude that's inside there, and that's horrifying. That is wildly unsettling to see the face of a man, the mouth of a person underneath it. Yeah, really, really freaky. Like I never understood that. Why would you subject yourself to being in a Mickey head for 8 hours a day in a giant costume? I had a friend that I worked with that was a mascot in a major university when he was in school. I'm like, why would you want to be the mascot? I don't understand. Never come to me.
Yeah, I think it's an excuse for you to like sort of be someone that you're not, or take on a personality of someone that you're not. You can kind of surprise people and be like, oh, that was you in there. Josiah sent me a reel recently. There was like this guy saying he found this secret entrance to Disneyland. And it was like, just you come through this cave and then you exit and you're like right here by the restrooms. And he sent it to me almost like, is this real? Is this a thing? And I was like, no, he's just on, like, what is it? Treasure Island or whatever the island is. And there's caves on the island. You know what I'm talking about? Tom Sawyer's Island. And he is coming out of a cave. He's just like making it up. Like, yeah, there's a hidden tunnel. You can just come right into the, like, no, that's just, there are caves you can go explore on the island, but they don't
I've never been on Tom Sawyer's Island.
You haven't?
No. I've been to Disneyland.
That's wild. You've never taken a ferry across?
No. When I was a kid, I don't know if my brother listens to this, but if he does, he may not love this, but we all loved roller coasters. And so my favorite was Big Thunder Mountain. He was petrified of roller coasters, did not want to do this. So he would always, with my mom, do Tom Sawyer's Island. So like they were on the island, they saw it while we were waiting in line for roller coasters. So there was never like in a time where I was like, let's go over there and chicken up, because they had already seen it. So it's right in the middle there, but it's kind of the one spot in Disneyland we've never been to.
Oh, that's pretty wild. Yeah. How many times would you say you've been to Disneyland? Get a guess.
Well, we had season passes or annual passes for a few years when we were down there. We would frequently go on like a Wednesday and just kind of do the art. Yeah, probably 60 times.
Okay. So all right, let's say that that's true. I mean, 40 would be a lot, but
yeah, okay, 40 would be once. 40 would be once a year, almost for my entire life. But like, when you have passes, you're going there on the regular. You'd probably go in there once a month.
We did have season pass for 1 year, and we probably went 20 times that year. But I'm still thinking that I went a total of 40 times.
Yeah.
Like, I
would have no way of quantifying it. So 40, sure. That sounds good.
But let's say for the sake of simplicity, 40. So out of 40 times, you've never been to Tom Sawyer's Island. That is wild to me, because you've been so many times. Wouldn't you want to explore the different areas? Yeah, you're like, there's not a ride on there.
I don't really understand what there is to do at Tom Sawyer's. You're just hanging out, walking through caves.
I've never been.
I've never been.
Never been. Little known fact, Bob Goff, author, speaker, lawyer, humanitarian, all these things. Tom Sawyer's Island is his, he will call it, that is my office. That's what he says. and he'll meet people there.
Yeah.
That is wild.
Yeah, that's quirky for sure.
All right. So this is going to lead into the next part, but like if you were going to get, and we're not thinking about health here, we're thinking about just fun. If you were going to get any food item or beverage or snack from Disneyland, what would it be?
Oh, from Disneyland. Well, so my daughter just went to Disneyland on her leadership at school. I'll brag there. She's a leader. And she ordered what is two of my favorite things to order at Disneyland. One is the turkey leg, which is just fun to order a big, giant turkey leg. Though it's turkey, it's never great. You're never like, I love this thing.
No.
But I always order it because it's fun. And the other is the Mickey Head ice cream bar, which this is the difference between my wife and I. I would go to Disneyland and say, like, I got to get a Mickey ice cream head thing. And she would say, okay, let's make that happen for you. And then she would buy one and then say, our whole family could share it, which there's 6 of us, 4 kids and me and my wife. And I'm like, no, this is not, I don't like sharing food. I want my food. And if we're going to go at half-seas, cool.
Yeah.
You order something, I'll order something, and we'll share. But I'm going to share. So my daughter ordered the turkey leg and the Mickey's ice cream. But the Mickey head is smaller. I think they probably raised the price and reduced the head. And they can make it happen. I guess they will. But it was disappointing to see the picture.
There's 2 things that I'm like, man, it would be great if I can get this. Number one is a churro anywhere in the park. I don't care. I love churros. I had a churro last week. Like churros, when somebody presents me with a churro opportunity, I'm generally in. And then the second thing is beignets. So those are the French donut things with the powdered sugar on top. They sell those, like the French Quarter area of Disney. They sell them in one of the little restaurants there. So there's like a walk-up window that's separate from the restaurant, but it's right next to it. And so you can get a bag there. And it's great because you always know when someone's had it because they just have this white dust all over them. And then it's worse if it's raining because it cakes in. It's like, you know, but you're good. So that brings me to the ultimate snack showdown. So if you were going to have a midday snack just on a normal day, and it's the stuff that currently resides in your house, what's going to be your go-to snack? Now, if you listen to last week, you know that we talked to Dan and he's a health guy. We're not considering the health in this thing. This is just for fun right here. What's the go-to fun snack?
Well, you go first because I'm trying to think. We intentionally don't have a lot of snacky stuff in the house, but I definitely have some thoughts on the road trip snack. But you go first, and we'll compare. We can our vast audience to see who's got the better snack.
Yeah, fast. Yes. So 50% currently says that chips is a go-to. It's a mainstay in this house. We have, in fact, I went to the store. Erica sent me to the store like 2 weeks ago we just need a bag of chips. We are coming to your house. We need to bring chips. And I went and there was a sign. It's like buy 2, get 3 free.
That's
I was like, yeah, I am in. So I came home with, I was supposed to get 1 bag of chips. I came home with 5. So of various
You've always been
kinds,
an overachiever.
which was great. Yeah. Road trip though.
Yeah. So
Road trip snack.
So I have 2. If I'm on a road trip, well, the first one's going to be dumb. The second one will be sort of standard. If I'm on a road trip and I go to a gas station, I'm like loading up the snacks, whatever.
To clarify, like road trip for you is like a long trip. Like you were talking like Montana from California And this is like how many hours? This is a big
Oh
road
yeah,
trip.
like we'll drive 19, 20 hours to go to Montana. If I'm driving to Southern California for work or whatever, and you can have a snack, some quine. I will always like I'll get from the gas station, not a taquito, but one of those like the cheese danishes. It's like a big rectangle.
Okay.
And
Yeah.
I don't know why, but I just love them, and they're just great to have like any time of day. Just like cheese danish so great. But like the real go-to is always going to be beef jerky. So give me some really like good. I don't like it too tough. I want more like a chewier, more tender, beef jerky. Tillamook.
Yeah.
Tillamook makes a good one. A 0 sugar beef jerky.
That's awesome. See, there's like a limitation on the kinds of things you can open up when our family is in the car because they give off different smells. For instance, I don't allow ranch flavored Doritos in the car. No, thank you. Those things smell up the whole car. Other people in our family do not like the smell of beef jerky just opening up in the car. So there's certain things to consider when you have other people in the car. But if I'm by myself, certainly beef jerky is on the table. But also what's on the table and will be devoured and delightful is trail mix. So I really enjoy a good trail mix. But I don't really want the monster mix because it's too much sweet. Like I want traditional peanuts, M&Ms. I'll even endure the raisins in this context.
Oh, so, you gotta have raisins.
Yeah, like a traditional trail mix.
Yeah, my father-in-law and my wife's family, they call trail mix Chorp. It's got a chocolate, which is the CHO, raisins, and peanuts. And so commonly on a road trip or like on a hike, or if we're just hanging out at the lake and there's trail mix involved, one of the kids will go in there and like just try and grab the chocolate, right? Well, that's a big no-no. And so my father-in-law will often use the phrase, which I love, no juicing the Chorp. And to me, this is one of my favorite things is no juicing the Chorp. So whenever we get, we love the monster mix, trail mix from Target or something like that. It's like a jar of trail mix. Very simple. It doesn't have like the crazy cranberries and the, whatever, all the other nonsense. It's really just chocolate, raisin, peanuts. It is delightful, but no juice in the Chorp. You get your hand in there. You get what you get, and you don't throw a fit.
I am totally naming this episode.
No juicing the Chorp. That should be the name of the episode for sure.
That's me. I'm going to use that for sure. But what are the movies? What is the snack for the movies?
I think very underrated here. I'm not a huge candy guy, but like when I'm in the movies and there's like we're at the concession stand to buy candy, I'm buying Mike and Ike's.
Yeah,
I like the fruity. I mean, Sour Patch Kids has always been a go-to, but I'm a little too old for Sour Patch Kids. Mike and Ike's just feels like it's like a refreshing candy to enjoy above you too.
Never in my life have I purposely bought Mike and Ike's. Like I've never gone, oh yeah, I'm going for Mike and Ike's.
I don't know whose idea it was, if it was Mike or Ike.
To me,
they came up with something great. So everyone should have Mike and Ike's.
Yeah. See, I really love popcorn.
Well,
so I'm like, yeah, let's get a bucket. And then what is my preference is to have Reese's Pieces to spike it with. And then if I can't do Reese's Pieces, I'm doing peanut M&Ms. If I can't do peanut M&Ms, I'm just doing regular M&Ms. So M&Ms, I think I said M&Ms. Either way, I'm doing regular. So that's the order.
That's the tiered
that I would go. And that is because, and that comes, my mom did that. And I remember going to the movies with some buddies when I was probably 13, 14. And my mom took us to see, I don't know, Face Off or something.
A great movie.
And it was either Face Off, The Rock, or Con Air. I'm certain it was one of those movies. They all came around. It was
part of Nicolas Cage's ridiculous run, which may be unassailable in movie history, for sure. Action movie history, just like that 3 back to back to back.
Yeah. And actually, funny thing about Con Air, there's a shout out to Fresno in the middle of
Right.
it because they're flying and that they throw a body from the plane or it falls from the plane and lands in an intersection in what's supposed to be downtown Fresno, but looks nothing like downtown Fresno. So anyway, little side thing there. But so my mom would always do this. She'd buy popcorn. So I have these buddies with me at the movie theater. She buys the popcorn. She brings her own smuggled candy, spikes the popcorn, and she passes the bucket down. My friend Eric Healy, he reaches in, grabs a handful, realizes there's something else in there, and he yells, "Who spiked the popcorn?" like at the top of his lungs. And, of course, we're all laughing, and everybody else in the theater is like, what is going on? These weirdos. Yeah. So it is like a tradition in my family to spike the popcorn.
See, we oftentimes will do M&Ms, but the idea that Reese's Pieces, or in the web calls them Reese's Pieces, is the number one choice is pretty awesome because I think Reese's peanut butter cups are probably the undisputed king candy, at least right now. But I feel like Reese's Pieces are pretty underrated for how good they are.
Yeah, can't go wrong. Well, speaking of movie theaters, you worked at one when we were in high school, and I greatly benefited from this arrangement that you had going. Was that how did you get that job? And was that what did you do in that job? Did you work in that job or did you mess around?
A little bit of both. I think if I look back on it now, I may have done something different, but I was a junior or a senior in high school. I think I worked there for 9 months, so it overlapped a little bit. I was working at Boston Market. That was my first job. RIP to Boston Market. I was slinging chicken and cornbread. And then I had some friends at a new, 21 theater Cineplex opened up in this huge shopping center we have here. And a few of my friends got jobs there and they were like, you should come down. And I was like, let's do it. And so I got a job and they were all ushers, right? So the ushers had it the best because they would wander around just could goof around the entire time. Just have a piece of paper in your pocket. It's like when the shows get out. And so you're on the radio, who's got theater 16, and you might split up, you might do them all together, but you're just wandering around sort of unsupervised. So I got a job. The only opening at the time was the concession stand. So I would work in the concession stand, which was much more structured, and you're having to, clean more things and clean out popcorn machines and all that stuff. And I was into it for a little bit, wanted to do really well. And so was upselling people and doing the whole thing. And then I just was like, I just want to hang out with my friends. And so, I finally was able to talk my way into being an usher and it was a fine, profession for a college senior or a high school senior. It was great. But the best part undoubtedly was the free movies. And I think now they've probably tightened this up. I don't know that people could just go into any movie if they want to. But back then I could get anyone into a movie almost at any time. And if we were hanging out, you and I we said, what do you want to do? Let's go see a movie. I could just call and say, hey, I'm coming in to see this with a friend. There's going to be 2 of us. And they'd be like, yeah, sure. No problem. And so we would just go and walk in. And there were some restrictions. Like, was a new movie or something like that was going to be sold out. You could do it. For the most part, we could just walk in at any time. I saw more movies in that 9-10 month period than I think I have the rest of my life. I mean, I saw everything. I love them.
So I think they did start to crack down just a little bit at some point because I do remember somebody opening the back door for us to go in at one point. Someone who worked there opened the back door and was like, yeah, just come on in real quick.
Because we then went away to college. I went away a year before you did. And then we would usually hang out if we were back in town for the holidays or something like that. But my high school friends still worked there, or some of them did. And so I could always say, hey, can you get me in? And they would, because the rule when I was there is your friends could come, but you had to be with them. They couldn't just walk in for free. And so like if my friend Frank was working, he couldn't go in with me. So I've opened the back door. He no longer works there, so we can't get in trouble. But yeah, we still, but like my parents never went and saw movies. But then like, I remember a very proud day was like I was working at a concession stand. I'd been telling them, you should come and see a movie. I can get you in for free. And they finally took me up on it and they came and saw a movie for free. And I was like, yeah, look at that. I got pulled and I got my parents into a free movie. This was a big moment for me.
Yeah.
Right.
It's amazing. Yeah. Incredible opportunity there. I think the statute of limitations is over on that.
Yeah, I can't fire
those things.
So that's good.
That's good. And now the memberships now. So you can just buy a membership.
No, it's
$20 a month and unlimited movies.
Yeah, you were doing that for a while, right?
Which I would
movie membership. Yeah.
Here's what happened. I had been watching this thing because that's one of my favorite things to do just for fun. Just go to the movies. So I'd been watching this. Several companies kind of start up and fold that were trying to do this movie membership thing until finally the theaters themselves said, why are we trying to get these third parties to do this? Let's just do it ourselves. So like Regal, which is the main local theater we have, has a membership, right? And so when it came out, I was like, I'm going to do this. So I took the boys to see a movie. And when I did that, I ordered the tickets on the app and it asked, do you want the membership? So I was like, I'm doing it. I'm just going to do it. I'm going to see like a movie a month. That'd be great. And so I bought the membership on the app. So this is Friday after school. That weekend, everything shut down from COVID. So I never got to use the membership. They basically put it on pause for 6 months and then said, okay, we're not really open yet, so we're going to put it on pause for another. So I paid 1 month, I think. And then when they started to reopen, I'm like, I'm never going to do this. So I just canceled it because I was like, I just don't have the time to devote that.
And COVID took so many things from us.
Totally.
I had a buddy, I saw him, buddy. His name was Dave. And Dave and I worked together at a church here in town. We both discovered that one of the biggest annoyances in life is people that talk during movies, right? And so like there was another guy on staff that we both love, but he was the guy that was like, oh, the cinematographer on this one is the same as blah, blah, blah. And you're like, you got up, right? I want to come here. I want to sit and I want to watch a movie, but it's also like, I don't know, a little weird to go and just watch a movie by yourself. Maybe that stigma has changed. So Dave and I created the No Talkers Movie Club, the NTMC. And so we would meet up, right? Like 5-10 minutes before the show started. So like drove separately, came, hey man, how you doing? Great. Oh, good seeing you. One for, Batman, buy our tickets. We walk in, preview starts, not say a word, watch the entire movie, and then walk out saying, what'd you think? Oh, it was pretty good. No, it was great. Okay. All right. See you later. And we'd leave. I was like, I've never had a closer friend than Dave. That was just the vibe. It was like, it was just great. We just hung out, didn't have to talk, and just watched movies. So.
No Talkers Movie Club. I kind of like it. I think that I would like to be able to say, oh, what'd you think about that preview? Oh, you want to see that one? Stuff like that. But I don't want to talk.
Yeah, we had a little bit of an exception during the previews because we could sort of look at each other and go, it would just like signaling, hey, that looks good and we should see that. Or like, nah, that's a dumb one. But we, again, would never actually say the words out.
So I went to 2 movies recently. One was Bonhoeffer, which is like it's based on the life of Dietrich Bonhoeffer.
I thought you mispronounced Oppenheimer. I was like, no, Micah, you saw Oppenheimer. And then I was like, oh, no, Dietrich Bonhoeffer. Yeah, I'm with you now.
No.
Okay, good.
And theologian, writer, pastor, World War II guy. So it was very moving. And the end has, I'm not spoiling anything because it's a story that is fairly well known. But at the end, there's kind of a very sad end. And then there's like the black screen with white writing.
Yeah.
And it's just dead silence. And I'm just like, I want to like bawl my eyes out right now, but it is so quiet in this room. Like if I sniffle, everyone's going to be like, oh, it's crying over there. So I just had to like be like,
You should
like just hold it
suck
in.
now.
Yeah. And then I let some tears out in the car. Like it affected me as I walked to the car. And Josiah's like, oh my gosh, what's going on with my dad? So that was one experience recently that I went. And then we went to Moana 2 this past weekend.
You cried like a baby.
And no, Eli reclined all the way in a different theater, not the one we've been talking about. And he fell asleep at one point. And I told him before, I said, if you're going to recline all the way, do not fall asleep because, we just paid for a movie. So as soon as I saw he was asleep, I like put my hand on his stomach and he was like, like he shook himself awake and it startled him. And it was really funny. And then I was like, hey, why don't you sit up just a little bit so that you can stay awake for this movie? But yeah, I really enjoy the movies, go into the movies.
I think that may be my Danny Glover segment for the week is I think I'm too old to see movies in the theater. I mean, I'm excited about them. I want to do it. But the entire time I'm just like, the financial investment. Oh, I shouldn't be eating this. And then like when you recline, you're like, I'm gonna take a nap. And then everyone in here is gonna be like, that guy is snoring. This old dude fell asleep and is snoring. So like it's just, I don't know. I want to be at home. I want to watch it at home. That's it.
There was when I went with Josiah recently, there was a guy, we walked into during the previews and there was a guy snoring in the front row.
Yeah.
I was like, oh no, he's gonna do this the whole time. But turns out his wife woke him up as the movie started, and he stayed awake the rest of the time.
Years and years and years ago, I went to see the movie Dude, Where's My Car with my friend Scott. In fact, you might have. Did you see that with us? I think we saw. I think we saw it in Fresno. And so I don't know if you're familiar with this. I don't know if you're familiar with this incredible work of cinema, Dude, Where's My Car? But in one of the earliest scenes, they wake up in the morning, forgetful and unsure of where things are, like their car. And their roommate, who we never talked, they're sitting on the couch and their roommate comes out and he like goes to a house plant and pees. And it's like this kind of gross but funny thing, right? And then, so Scott is watching and then he falls asleep. And then they go through the rest of the movie and, there's aliens and it gets weird. I forget the plot of Dude, Where's My Car? But the end of the movie is right back at the beginning because like they refresh their memories or whatever. And so they wake up groggy, they sit down on the couch and the roommate comes out and pees in the houseplant. Well, Scott woke up at the peeing in the houseplant part 2 at the end and thought, oh, I just dozed off and missed a couple of seconds because the last thing you remembered was the peeing in the houseplant. And then he woke up. And then the movie just ends and Scott's like, what just happened? That was like a 5-minute movie until we go. He slept through the entire thing. He probably was better off than you were. That was a terrible movie, but I always remember.
That's hilarious. That's perfect timing too.
Indeed.
Well, good. I think this has been a lot of fun. So we were going to talk about what you read and listening to, watching, but I think we should save that because we want to keep this under a certain time frame here. And I'd like to go straight to the pun and done situation. Is that all right with you?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right. So give me some goods, man. Give me your puns.
All right. What's blue and doesn't weigh much? Light blue.
Light blue. Got it.
What's the easiest building to lift?
A
lighthouse.
These are on the same vein.
Just
the lighthouse. I should have got that.
Two.
You got another one where it's like light.
No more light
ranch
or
something.
light jokes.
Okay. Did you know that keeping tropical fish at home can have a calming effect on the brain?
Nope.
You heard about this? It's because of all their endorphins.
What keys unlock a banana?
Monkeys.
monkeys.
Yes. Yes. Well, the real question is, why did the banana go to the doctors?
Was it peeling well?
Yes, you got it. Yes, he wasn't peeling well. That was fantastic.
Thank you. Thank you.
That's good. Well
Thank
done.
you. Micah, what do you call a funny mountain?
I don't know.
Hilarious. Hilarious.
Yeah. A little smaller than a mountain, I think, but yeah, that's great. Yeah, mountain adjacent. Why can't dinosaurs clap their hands?
Because they're extinct.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. But did you know that dogs can't operate a MRI machine? But
CAT scan.
cats can.
Yeah.
Cats
CAT
can.
scan. Yeah. What's a good word? We didn't really plan that this was like guess the punchline, but I kind of like that it's like who can out-dad joke the other. So, all right. What is a witch's favorite subject in school?
I don't know. I was say like chemistry or something.
Spelling.
Yes. Yeah. Do you know how to tell if something's a dad joke? I almost said a jad joke, but it's actually dad joke. You know how to tell something's dad joke?
Yeah, I think it's apparent.
Yeah, it is. It's totally apparent. Yeah.
We should turn this into a competition. And I
A
think
little dance.
I won that one. I guessed the most of your punchlines.
You did get quite a few. Do you have any more?
That's the one I got, but I'll give one more that is one of my go-tos for a long time. I haven't told it in a while. You're going to know the answer to this one, but what does a nosy pepper do? It's jalapeno business.
Yep. Wow. That was definitely.
It's the one to end on, for sure.
All right. I'll see you later. Thanks for listening. Subscribe, like, send it to your friends, and tell us your favorite jokes. We will read them on air, and you can listen to your own jokes. So we'd love to have that. We'll see you next time.